Today on Your Money, saving money while going green. Are we washing our clothes more often than we need to? The answer may surprise you. And how to get the best gas mileage while running your car's AC this summer. Plus, a young entrepreneur who is keeping office furniture out of the landfill. It's all coming up next. Welcome to Your Money. I'm Gordon Severson, here to help you save, spend, and invest your money wisely. And today, we're going green. Tips and tricks that are good for your wallet and good for the planet, like saving money on energy. You know who spends a lot of money on energy? Grocery stores. All those fridges and freezers, just imagine how big their monthly electricity bill must be. Well, one man from Bangor, Maine, decided to help them out with a new invention. Katie Delaney has the story.
It's highly standardized and very simple to replace very large rooms of very complicated, very expensive, and very energy-intensive equipment that run big supermarkets.
At only 2 by 2 feet, 3 to 12 flex cubes can run a grocery store's entire refrigeration system, as well as heat and cool a store.
Reduce the maintenance, reducing design costs, installation costs, and maintenance costs. So that will all reduce grocery costs.
Most supermarkets use hydrofluorocarbons as refrigerants, greenhouse gases that the EPA is trying to phase out.
1 pound of refrigerant leaking out is equal to 4,000 pounds of CO2 released into the air.
The Flex Cube relies on A2Ls, refrigerants that are better for the environment. The A2L system will premiere at the Hunter's Shop and Save in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. The store was destroyed in a fire last year, but now they've rebuilt and are reopening on June 20th. Lebrecht says it will be the first entirely A2L store in the country.
It's a huge cost savings. It's a real game changer for the supermarket industry.
Hunter Shop and Save owner Dan Craffey says the FlexCube system is a third of the price of a standard refrigeration system and will cut his electricity bill in half.
A grocery store takes about as much energy as a hospital to run. This grocery store is probably going to take as much energy as a house.
The supermarket will even have enough extra heat produced by the FlexCube system to heat the Walgreens next door for free.
Over the course of the life, it's going to save quite a few millions.
It's just amazing that this has been developed in the state of Maine, and it's probably going to go worldwide very shortly.
We're going to keep things cool here for another moment. There are viral posts online that claim you can save money on your air conditioning by setting up a tent over your outside air conditioner. The idea is that the tent creates shade so your AC doesn't get slammed by the summer heat. But does this actually work? Tanya Rivera went to find out.
What great intent. I really think the idea is there, but in actuality, I think it's a bad idea. Putting a tent over top of the fan unit, their air conditioner unit, is going to, in some ways, restrict airflow, as that fan needs to exhaust the air out of the top.
Let's explain why. The AC in a central air system works by first pulling the air inside your house and separating it. It then sends the heat out to the condenser. That's the big box with the fan that sits outside of your house. The condenser fan then pulls the outside air into the unit. That air absorbs the heat before it's dumped back outside of the unit. In order for it to work properly, the outdoor portion of the AC unit requires airflow over the coil and the fan. So to exhaust properly, your AC needs at least a 5 to 6 foot clearance.
What if a wind came through and blew your tent sideways and choked out your AC unit? That could be a very expensive mistake.
Experts say a better way to save money is to clean and replace your air filters. If they're clogged with dust and dirt, your AC has to work harder to push the air through the filter. And it causes more wear and tear on your unit that can cost you thousands of dollars down the road. Sticking with this theme of energy, the Department of Energy is trying to bring more diversity to the industry, hoping that people with different backgrounds will bring different ideas and new innovations. Michelle Bowden explains how it works.
Desmond Wiggin had his aha moment for the company he founded 4 years ago when he was getting his MBA in China and had no way to charge his phone to call for their version of an Uber. That gave birth to Battery Exchange, now headquartered on UNC Charlotte's campus.
We have a kiosk machine, we place it in locations, and individual cell phone users can rent external portable batteries similar to how you can rent a scooter or a bike.
So far, these kiosks are in 62 locations across North Carolina, places like area emergency rooms and restaurants and bars.
You're out for some drinks late night and need to call an Uber, but haven't charged your phone all day. So there's a varying array of users.
They're expanding across the country now, in part thanks to a recent infusion of cash and resources. They were just selected to be part of a cohort of minority-owned businesses in the energy sector.
When it comes to certain industries, it's very skewed, and clean energy is one of those. It's not a very equitable sector.
Wiggins agrees there are not a lot of people that look like him in the industry.
Not a lot of us. When you meet somebody in this, it's just like, man, we're trailblazers, we're unicorns. But when you do meet somebody with that hunger, and I feel like all the cohort members kind of have that same type of energy, like we want to be a part of the change, not only in our cities, but really across America.
The cohort is aiming to change that. Anovia Bedford with Boss, Black Owners of Solar Services, is one of the cohort leaders. Boss launched the cohort just a few weeks ago with a $6.3 million grant from the Department of Energy, bringing together 25 North Carolina minority-owned businesses.
A cohort and initiative like this gives us education, it gives us mentorship, it gives us, potential avenues to get into revenue generating opportunities to further our company so that we can help our communities and just help other individuals that look like us get into this space as well.
And Wiggins hopes it will help Battery Exchange expand beyond the Tar Heel State. He's eyeing the Northeast, the Midwest, and beyond for expansion.
We're going to take a quick break here on Your Money, but when we come back, how to save money on water, how cutting back on hot water can save you a ton of money, and why you're probably washing your clothes more often than you need to. We'll have those stories and more coming up. Welcome back. Most mornings, there is nothing better than a hot shower. But experts say the average American uses more hot water than they should. Not just in the shower, but in the sink cleaning dishes and in the washing machine. Ben Thompson explains how cutting back can save you money.
Hot water feels so good, but for most chores, experts say it's unnecessary. Let's connect the dots. From washing the dishes to doing our laundry, we probably use hot water most of the time. In fact, hot water is responsible for more than 10% of our energy use and utility bills. And hotter isn't always better. There are big ways you can dial back your energy use and save money without making big changes to your lifestyle. Experts say if you wash 4 out of 5 loads of laundry with cold water, within 1 year, you cut the same amount of CO2 out of the air as planting a half acre of rainforest. You can also stop rinsing your plates in warm water before putting them in the dishwasher. Experts say for almost all dishwashers now, just scraping your food off should be enough. A couple of quick, easy changes that can save you big money and help out the planet.
Saving money and helping the planet, that is the goal. I can absolutely get behind washing my dishes and clothes in cold water, but a cold shower may be a harder sell. Going back to washing your clothes, have you ever had a shirt that you wore for only a few hours and wondered, do I need to wash this or can I hang it up and wear it again? Well, our next expert says hang it up and maybe wear it a couple times before you wash it, because the average American is washing their clothes more often than they need to. Check it out.
Americans, we love to wash things. Like, it's easy. We all have washers and dryers, like in our fingertips. And we just love to wash things.
Maybe it's the smell, the way it feels. There's just something about freshly clean clothes that people love. Or maybe it's just a habit.
You know, every time you put something on, you have to wash it.
A habit Patrick Richardson says costs the average family hundreds of dollars a year. He owns Mona Williams, a clothing shop at the Mall of America, and he literally wrote the book on laundry.
The more your clothes tumble in the washing machine, the more abrasive that is. You know, lint is just your clothes dying. It's your clothes breaking down in front of you.
He says most high-quality garments are good for about 50 washings. So if you have a favorite pair of $50 jeans, it costs you $1 every time you wash them. So instead of washing them every time you wear them, Richardson recommends only washing your jeans every 9 or 10 times. That may sound strange to some people, but think about it this way.
If you think of guys who wear suits, a lot of them only dry clean them once or twice a season. Well, I mean, why are the suit pants cleaner than a pair of jeans? They're not. They're being worn in the exact same way.
Unless they're visibly dirty, Richardson says you can get away with just hanging up your clothes and airing them out. And it's not just jeans.
Let's assume that you wore this skirt to work You'd wear it, you'd wash it twice a season.
How about shirts?
2 or 3 times before you wash them. And if you get something on them, you just spot treat them and hang them back in your closet.
Sweaters.
Never more than once a season.
Richardson says that's because you normally wear something under your sweater and usually a coat over it, so it rarely gets dirty. If it's wrinkled, just hang it up and let the wrinkles fall out. But socks and underwear,
every time you wear it, you know it needs to go in the washer, or at least it needs to be rinsed or something.
If you follow his advice, you can save yourself a lot of money. Let's look at the numbers. Energy Star says the average American family does about 300 loads of laundry a year. Each load will cost you about $2. It all depends on your machine, how much you pay for energy, but online sources say $2 is about average. That's $600 a year, doing about 6 loads of laundry a week. If you cut that in half and do 3 loads a week, you'll save yourself about $300 a year. Plus, you'll save even more by extending the life of your clothes.
You know, we shouldn't wash something every time we wear it. It's really hard on the garment, and we're just not that dirty.
Another helpful tip, if your clothes get smoky, say from cigarettes or a campfire, Richardson recommends spraying them with vodka. The alcohol will kill the smell and you can wear your clothes again without washing them. Well, from washing your clothes to recycling, there are countless claims online that a lot of the plastic we put into the recycling bin doesn't actually get recycled. Brandon Lewis from our National Verify team put these claims to the test.
Some stories about recycling claim that less than 10% of plastics are actually recycled. Several Verify viewers reached out to ask if that means most of what they put in their recycle bin ends up in the landfill. So let's verify. Does less than 10% of plastics put in recycle bins actually get recycled? Our sources are the Environmental Protection Agency, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, recycling programs in several cities, and KARE with the Association of Plastic Recyclers. Plastic is used in just about everything, but the EPA says about 90% of it isn't recycled. This includes things like chip bags or shower curtains, but these items should never end up in the recycle bin because they're not labeled as recyclable. As for plastics that are actually labeled as recyclable and placed in the blue bin, our sources estimate anywhere from 60 to 99% of it is recycled. The exact number depends on the recycling capability of your community, so it's important to recycle the plastics that are accepted.
It is most definitely worth your effort. The environmental benefits of recycling your plastics versus making new plastic material, the environmental benefits far outweigh that new material.
So the claim that less than 10% of plastics in the recycle bin get recycled is false. It's actually much higher. That stat refers to all plastics, including those that can't be recycled or never make it in the blue bin in the first place. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Still more to come here on Your Money after the break. How to get the best gas mileage out of your car while running the AC this summer. Plus, more people are working from home these days, so what's happening to all that office furniture? How a college student is giving those tables and chairs a new life. Welcome back. We all know that running the air conditioner in your home can be expensive during the hot months of summer, but you might not think of the AC in your car. In many vehicles, the air conditioning system uses gasoline to cool you down. With gas prices the way they are right now, your AC might be costing you more money than you might think.
Especially when gas is almost $5 a gallon.
Steve Reinhardt feels the pain at the pump like we all do, so he understands why we're all looking for ways to save a little money. And he says how you run your air conditioner in your vehicle can make a big difference.
Your driving habits, how you drive, the model of the vehicle, the make, the engine. The air is drawn in through this area.
Reinhardt says there are so many factors that can affect how much gas your air conditioner uses. According to the EPA and Department of Energy, running your AC can reduce your fuel economy by as much as 25%. For a car that typically gets 30 miles to the gallon, that's like losing 7.5 miles. For a 16-gallon tank, it's like losing 4 gallons of gas, which these days could cost you nearly $20.
If you're trying to save mileage, You're giving up a little bit of comfort.
Reinhardt says yes, the best way to save gas with your AC is to just not use it, or not use it as much, or not use it in low efficiency situations, like being stuck in stop-and-go traffic.
Stop-and-go traffic, there is a lot of underhood temperature that takes place from me sitting behind another car that its exhaust is dispelling a lot of heat. Also, you have a black pavement that's giving off a lot of heat.
And when you're at a dead stop, your AC has to work harder to suck in clean air. And when that air comes in, the air has to go through a filter.
Just like your furnace in your house, you have a furnace filter, you're going to have a cabin air filter.
In most vehicles, that filter is located here behind the glove box. So that one's pretty dirty.
That one is in need of replacement.
Reinhardt says changing that filter out twice a year will keep your AC running smoothly, and it will save you some money. He also recommends that classic tip of parking your car in the shade when you can. It really makes a difference. So does a sunshade you can attach to your windshield.
The sunshades work really good because that's where your biggest sun load is on your windshield. When that sun's beating down through the windshield, it heats that interior up pretty quick.
And when you turn on your AC, do it gradually. Let's say you crank it down to 60 degrees and it gets too cold. Well, then you have to dial it back up to something like 68 or 70. But if you do that, Reinhardt says your vehicle will turn on the heater to warm things up. And switching back and forth like that uses a lot of energy. So it's better to just cool things down gradually.
Reinhardt says his best piece of advice is to fight the urge to turn on your AC the moment you step into your vehicle. Instead, he recommends opening up all the windows and driving for a few miles to kick out all of the hot air that is lingering in your vehicle. Once that hot air is out, then you can close the windows and turn on your AC. Let's head out to Connecticut now, where one business is crushing the building process. Literally, they are taking recycled glass and turning it into greener concrete. Jim Altman takes us behind the bottles to building process.
At this manufacturing plant, it's a mashup.
Comes in whole, comes in shattered, it comes in with non-glass residues.
In Beacon Falls, this is the home of Urban Mining CT, where the business model has been shattered by design. What's happening here? They call it bottles to buildings.
Urban Mining Connecticut is a place where we take recycled glass and put it into sustainable concrete.
Crushed glass turned into a special concrete. The patented process is known as positive.
Positive is a pozzolon, a partial cement replacement. It replaces pound-for-pound cement in concrete by up to 50%.
The process is complex, but the objective is simple. Going high-tech, they are intent on lowering carbon emissions. Lou Grasso is Urban Mining's managing partner.
This plant at full capacity is the equivalent of taking 8,000 cars off the road for the state of Connecticut with regards to the carbon aspect per year.
For the 3-year-old plant, there are concrete results. They're just a bit more sustainable.
Torrington High School, a New Canaan Library, the Oxbridge Elementary School in Darien, Connecticut.
Plus, there are new projects for skyscrapers in Manhattan. Their hope here is to keep building on the future.
This is the first commercial scale plant in the country, and this plant could be replicated throughout the United States in every major metropolitan area.
It is very cool, and it's great to be at the forefront of this new innovative product that is highly impactful and beneficial.
In Beacon Falls, Jim Altman, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
So we're talking about glass to concrete. Just to give you a little perspective, climate experts say cement production is the second largest producer of greenhouse gases in the world. And this company believes that reducing the amount of cement that goes into concrete will have a big impact on the industry's carbon footprint. Finally, let's get to work. The EPA estimates up to 17 billion pounds of office furniture ends up in landfills every year. Now a Minnesota business is trying to give some of that furniture a second life. And as Heidi Wigdahl shows us, the man behind it is still in college.
When COVID hit, many at the office found themselves working from home. It led to some companies downsizing their locations, leaving space.
So these are some of the available products
for John Costello to fill.
So I started West Metro Solutions when I was 16. I was selling a lot of office equipment. When COVID hit, all of a sudden the entire office was being liquidated.
John, now a junior at the University of St. Thomas, finds used office furniture.
The design services that we provide.
And gives it new life.
This is one of the inventories that I have access to. So I have access to a number of inventories throughout the country.
This is Office Systems and Design in White Bear Lake.
He was a young man that had a lot of ambition, so we kind of helped him along. He buys products from us, and we help him with some of his projects.
We strip them down to these panel blanks. It's just a wood core, and then we're able to turn it into a finished panel like that, which ultimately turns into the products you see here.
John says West Metro Solutions is able to offer companies refurbished furniture at a fraction of the cost. Since the start, John's business has reclaimed over 500,000 pounds of furniture.
All of this would end up in the landfill.
Doing his part to help the environment. And despite some places downsizing, there's still space for what he does.
So we've done over $1 million in sales since we've started, and now we're pacing at about $500,000 in annual sales. I want sustainability to be the most economical way to do business. I see that as the only way we can make a true difference in the world. Generosity is great, but I don't think it'll get us there. I think we need to make a real paradigm shift in business.
Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
John is a Schulze Innovation Scholar, double majoring in entrepreneurship and finance. He's set to graduate in May of 2025, just in case any companies are looking for a bright young man with big ideas. That's all we have for this green episode of Your Money. If you want to watch some of our old episodes and interviews, check out our YouTube channel. Head to youtube.com/yourmoneyplus. Until next time, I'm Gordon Severson, helping you save, spend, and invest your money wisely.